y'all, welcome to my channel, Mama Fox Studios. This is Missy, and today we are hopefully finishing up our camp party, aka birthday party by Cute Room. This runs a little bit long, so be it. I'm determined to make this my final build, the finale, barring any catastrophic events. I don't know, something might happen, so I can't say until I'm done it's the end, but I'm hoping it is. So on our last video, we pretty much just did the arch. Now, I did add some of my own beads from the stash, these little itty bitty ones, but it came with the white, the gold, the silver, and the pink. And then I just felt like it didn't quite look complete. I wish I'd actually had a few more, but like this size maybe. I feel like the bottom looks great, the top's a little sparse, but it's fine. It is what it is. So we're going to set this aside and get moving because we got a lot to do. So first things first. Yes, I have to cut out all these. And yes, I understand if you fast forward, but I'm cutting them out. We have A145, 3 of them, A146, 3 of them, 2 A147s, 48, 2 A149, a 50, 2 A151s, and a 52. So we're going to cut these out, and then I'm going to stack them in stacks so I don't get them mixed up. Whoop. Only if I can keep my blade. No, I just feel like I do better with a blade and faster. Especially since they're like mostly lined up and I can just kind of go across most of them. Had a discussion with my mom. She's watching Criminal Minds. She's like, I can only watch one episode at a time. They're really intense. And I said, oh, I think they have a new one. I thought it was new. Just found out there's 2 spin-offs, but they're from 2011 and 2016. Where have I been? The first one, Criminal Suspect Behavior, yeah, it only had 1 season. And then Beyond Borders only had 2 seasons. And I'm surprised for as long running as Criminal Minds is. And of course, Penelope's in both. She's the tech wizard. She's my favorite. But I guess it's probably, I'm not saying anything bad about the actors they had on the spinoffs because I've not seen them. But sometimes I think when they do spin-offs, it's a great idea, but they just don't quite capture the characters from the original, you know? And sometimes that's the key, I think, to these long-running series is, yes, they have to have a good idea, but they also have to have the right people playing the characters. And I'll be honest, oh, I just walloped that one. I stopped watching Criminal Minds when the original lead guy left. I mean, I liked the other guy. I don't, it's been so long I don't remember their names. I liked him, just not as the lead. So I've not watched Criminal Minds in a long time, but I did watch it fairly regularly when it first started. those were 45s that I cut out. Now I'm cutting out 40s. Whoops. Yeah. We're gonna have a gap on that one. And yes, I know I run the chance without using a ruler that I mess up. And be honest, I mess up all the time. But it's just my preference of taking those boo-boos and putting them in the back or coloring in the wood or something, you know, to make it less obvious. But I know that's what I get. Okay, we got 2 47s here. I wonder if it's this blade. This one's cutting a bit smoother. I think that blade's getting, all my blades need to be replaced. There's my 4th blades. I've gone 3rd and 4th blade, so. Be prepared. That was something I wasn't really prepared for. I mean, I know X-Acto blades get dull and you have to replace them, but I wasn't prepared for just how many I actually go through in a build. But it's weird. I guess it depends on the material, because sometimes it's literally 2. Well, and sometimes like here it's 4. I've gone through, you know, 6 before. So I guess it's just the material I'm cutting, which is odd because this hasn't been very hard material. Really. We have 148. Two of the 49s. We're halfway through this paper, guys. One little 50 here. Oh, we gotta clean up that side. That was horrible. Two more sections to go, 3 more blocks. Here, 2. 2 of the 51s. We're going to trim up that a little bit. Sometimes my blade's like, nope, I am not going wherever it is you want me to go. Just not doing it. It's like, okay, I'll fix you afterwards. It wasn't as bad as I thought, just whoop, I went up a little on that edge. Oh well. I was doing good till the end. And our last piece is a 52. Whoop. Okay, so our last paper, regular paper here, is done. It goes in the garbage. Now we have our last piece of wood here, and they're C11111, C223344. So let's see. You're not gonna just let me pop it. All right. So I'm gonna turn it over from the back because the little tabs they're holding it in are mostly just on the back. Like they're cut through part way, but not all the way on the back. And this is why I like to keep 2 X-Acto blades, because this one will go dull much faster than the paper one. And if you have little bits stuck from, like if you didn't cut them, sometimes where it's stuck, it will, they give you that little bit of sandpaper in the beginning to, I just don't like to do that. So I use it in my nail or my blade, but feel free to, you know, make sure you, because if you try to wrap paper around it and it's sticking out a little, it might stop you, or if you're butting it up against another piece of wood. So even though I don't generally sand them, I do make sure that they're flat. Okay, last piece of wood. Let's see, these are the C2s. I like that they're printed on there. C3s and C4s. Okay, so I use Aleene's Original Tacky Glue. I just have it in a squeeze bottle with precision tip. So we are going to scratch lightly on the broken line of paper with knife and easy to fold. Okay, 47. Oh crap. I knew I kept this for a reason because we have our numbers on here. 45, 46, 47. Okay, so there is 2 dotted lines. Now, if this was like the transparent plasticky kind of paper, not paper, but you know, we use a lot for windows, I will scratch those on the back, but if I try to scratch, this is just glossy printer paper, I will probably go right through it. So you're more than welcome to, but I would try it first. Like take a piece of the paper that you, like a piece of this, and try to score it, because what we're doing is scoring it without going through it. I would just suggest that. But me, I just like to fold mine. And I just line up the dotted line on one edge and the other edge, and then I'll do that because there's two lines on here. What we're doing is basically like on a book, how we build, we give room for the spine. We're just doing that so that when the wood goes in, it has space for the width of the board. So I'm just going to do it on both of these. And I'm not folding them tight, like I call that a soft fold. And then if I were to all the way down, that I call that a hard fold. I'm not going to do that because I'll do that with the wood. So we're going to use C2. All right, so I'm going to set that in the middle, make sure I'm lined up, and now I will give that a good solid fold. No, you're not. Yep, there we go. So I like to put my aliens just on the front first. Make sure it's all lined up and even. And then, oh, sorry, put a bit on in that spine and then on the back. Now I don't just lay this down, because if you lay this down you may be short, so I like to kind of roll around the spine, roll that spine over, and then I do the same thing with books, and then you make sure you have enough. Okay, let's do this on the same process. See, I was a little bit crooked on my bends, that's why I did not do a hard bend. And then a line of glue down the spine. I just find it holds it tighter in if you glue the spine. When I first started doing this, I didn't glue, like I'm thinking of books, because this is the same process for a book. I didn't really glue the spines, and then I found that they would get loose sometimes, and you could see, I mean, they still do sometimes, but less and less if you glue that spine down. Okay, and then we're going to take A151, which is these two big ones here. Same thing, they have the two lines. Well, at least I like this better than just sticking a piece of paper on each side of the wood. Gives us, because you know me, I hate, my new hate thing is that edge of wood that's different colored, and these ones are dark, so this will give us that, you put that edge in the front of the shelf or the side of the box, whatever we're making, display stands. And we're going to use C3, okay. exact process. Rinse and repeat, right? We're good at that. I'm sticking these back where the paper went. Because now my numbers on my wood are covered up, but I still have my paper numbers over here. Not that I don't think it'll be quite obvious what wood we're putting where when we start to build, but I am notorious for mixing things up, so the more organized and precise I can be, the better for me. Yeah, this was the one where we went a little bit off, so we got a little bit of wood that'll be on the back. All right, and then 49. These two right here, 49 and C4s, okay. Do I do this on all of them? I didn't know we were doing this. I seriously thought it was like a piece of paper on each side and it'd be so fast and I'd get through this so fast. Taking a bit longer. That's okay, we're here for it. I will trim up any excess along the edges when I'm done with all of them. I thought that would just make it go faster if I just bend and glue all of them first, and then I can go in and like trim up that little bit of edge. Okay, and then there is complete 2 pieces of A146, so that's our second one, but there's 3. Oh, that was complete 2 pieces was from those. So now we're supposed to complete 3 pieces. Now these don't have a fold line. It's so hard to see. Okay, that one looks like it does. That one does. Oh, they do. They're just not in the center, they're on the edge. Just a very little bit. And that one's a little bit less because I chunked that corner. These are going to go on C1. So they're going to go and then cover one bit of the short side. Go ahead and put my glue on that one side. I'm going to start by putting that side on so that we have enough to cover it, and then, oh, I got glue on my finger which went on the paper. Dang it, I hate when I do that. I just like to give my sides a chance to stay when they're just like single sides like this, by pushing down on the desktop for just a few seconds. Okay, and we're going to do that 3 more times. 2 more times, I'm sorry, 2 more times for a total of 3. And that is all of our paper. No, we have 3 more papers. What am I doing with those? Oh, they're gonna go on after we built. Okay. Okay. So it gets the other edges. Gotcha. Okay. All right, so these 3 are going to eventually go with these 3, but real quick. Oh, and now we have one there and one there. And okay, we have more paper. I like to trim up my edges. Now, will these little bitty bits make a big difference? Probably not, but if you're putting that up against another piece of wood, it may kind of just get in the way a little bit. It may kind of stop it from being completely flush. So even though they're very little, I just like to trim up my edges. Just make sure if you do this, your blade is flat. If you go in, you may go under the wood and get too much, and out you won't get a clean, nice, crisp cut. or you may hit the wood with the back of your blade. I've done that many times. So I'm doing the long sides first, and then if you have any on that spine, you can just turn it flat and get it. But if you try to cut the spine before you cut the long ends, it may give you some trouble. And by trouble, I mean crinkling up the paper instead of just cutting it. Three more real quick. Okay. Super quick. Let me get a white bee. Oh, last one in this pack. Don't worry, I have more. I have plenty more. I love to use white bees to pick up all these little bits of paper, because otherwise I'd be here for 20 minutes trying to scrape every one up. And then just make sure that's not soaking wet when you go to put your paper on it. Okay, so now we're gonna put C1 with paper, right? Yes. Okay, the edging that's completed with paper is coming, everything on the edging paper is gonna face me. I missed a little edge there. Okay, so that edge is, papered edge is going to face me, and then C3. Oh, C3 is 51. So here, towards the end. So these are going to go on the outside. So the little one's going to hit here and here. Okay, so I'm going to glue on my small piece of wood, C1, and then I'm just going to put a little dot of super glue in each corner. I use the Aleene's Original Tacky Glue and Crazy Glue with the brush applicator. And I just want to make sure that they're even. Oh, even in the front, thank you, and even on the bottom. If you're not completely 90 degrees, it's okay. We're going to put another piece up on top in a minute, and it will help make sure that those are 90 degrees up and down, but try to get them close if you can. It'll just make it easier to put the other piece on. you know. All right, and then we're going to put a C1 that is not papered also on the inside. I'm going to flip this upside down and then make sure everything's flush on the front. They fit together so much better when they're not papered, I'm just saying. Oh, I was like, what? This is our top. I was like, why do I didn't see the paper because I had it upside down. But so make sure your paper showing right side on the bottom. And now we're going to take one of these C45s, the papers that we okay, and we're going to fold the three, is it 4 sides? Let me see. Let me just fold these down real quick. Now, if you're not going to use a ruler and you're going to just use the wood, just make sure it's dry. Like, give it a little bit of time before you try to press this down around the sides. Just a suggestion. I think that would probably be helpful. So we're going to put our glue, excuse me, it's going to go on both edges. Oh, I don't think I was supposed to fold the sides. I was like, wait, what? Okay, it's only gonna fold over the front, so we did 2 extra folds unnecessary. We don't need to fold those sides. Just the front is going to go over the front. Yep, just like that. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing 2 more times. And right. Oh no, wait, what am I doing? Let's continue with this one because we're not done. I'm jumping the gun here, and I keep doing that. I'm sorry. Okay, so we've put our top on, right? We don't fold those edges. We have the paper here in the inside, but not the bottom. got the fronts covered, and now we stick A152, which is our last piece of paper, at the back of the wood shelf. So the sides that are covered, turn it around, and this is going to go all across the back. See, and this is the exact reason I trimmed up those edges on the sides, because if they would have been sticking out, it would have maybe not popped wood up, but it would have definitely popped this paper up. Hold on, I did not trim up that top though, and that's exactly what it's doing. Let's try that again. Oh, wood side in, right? Yep, because we want the wood to show through the front. Okay. Be careful if you're trimming like me when that glue is still very wet, because if you don't get a nice crisp cut, it can potentially pull your paper and kind of tear it. Okay, so there is one. Now in here it says the bag and the little pink box with the bow is supposed to go inside. And I'll be honest, they have the bag like all the way back and you lose it. You can hardly see it. I have it way back here. So I'm kind of, If I set you closer up, and at an angle, come on. It does not want to cooperate. Then can I put this kind of closer to the edge? Kind of stick out. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to glue on the bottom of my bag. And it's not going all the way back. I'm literally just putting it, just this left corner is going to go just, dang it, just past this front edge, just on the inside of the front edge. Okay, so it's just on the inside, it's not too far back. And then on this little guy, instead of putting him in there square, which would mean we need more space, I'm gonna put him a little bit diagonal too. What is my issue? And I'm gonna kind of leave him poking out a little bit, because I love that little box. So there, you can't really see the bag, but you can't in the picture either, so, but at least you know there's a bag there. It's very much in shadow in the picture because it's farther back, and then this is straight up front, but I'm artistic license, right guys? We're good at using that. Okay, so there's one. And now if you're following the book, it says to put the party hat on top, but we know I'm not doing that. So we're going to set this over to the side. Now we're going to do the other C1 that is covered with the one piece that's covered, and then C4, which was 49, 2, 3. So these other small ones. So that spine in the front, and they're going on the outside. So it is exactly like the other one, just smaller. Okay, and then that C1 that's not covered is going on the inside the top of the two sides. Okay, so we're gonna just set that. Oh wait, I should have turned it upside down like I did last time. That worked better. Make sure I'm flush in the front. Flat down. Oh, dang it. Oh, this one moved. Yeah, I knew it was going way too well to just, couldn't just let me have it, could it? Okay. Oh, that's our top, right? I'm like, uh-oh. Now we're gonna take again. Don't fold those sides. That was my mistake. I knew something was up, but it looks like there's lines. I knew something was up when we didn't cut the back corners, but I didn't quite understand. So we just want to fold over that front. I'm going to remember to trim this before I put the backing on, right? Keep wanting to slide. So a little tip, if you're like I just cut that corner was a little long, but there was nothing underneath it to hold, right? So instead of just going across, which may work with a very sharp blade, but if it's not super sharp, it may kind of push the paper and crumple it. So if you go to the side while going up or down at the same time, it has a better cut to it instead of a push. And then A145. No, that's the top we did. What's the back? It's at 50, sorry. Okay, here. So now this is going to go brown side facing the front, so we're going to see the white. Okay, so there we have our second shelf, and in this is our 4 books that we're going to put our 3 bigger books and then our 1 little one. So the order they have them is the pink one, the white one, and then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and then this one on the side. So I think I'm going to have to close some of, yeah, I'm going to have to glue the pages together. Otherwise they're going to be too big to go in sideways. I don't think I'm going to do it on the little one. And I'm not going to do it on the back of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I'm going to do it, if it goes this way, I'm not going to do this side, so not the front flap. I am going to do the rest of them though. Put glue on my bottom. You can do this numerous ways. You can glue them together, the 3 big books together if you like. You can put it right up against the side. You can put them right up leaning against each other. You know, numerous ways to make these kind of individualized, if you will, or just stack them in. Now I did keep, they have theirs like pretty close together. I did keep mine a little bit farther apart. I just wanted to see the different, all the different books. Like sometimes when you do books and you stack them together, you kind of lose the effectiveness of like it's a book when they're just in rows and, you know, when they're smashed together. So I like that because actually I'm gonna pull that one out just a bit. You see the little doggies. There we go. Okay, so that's my second shelf. Ugh. And we're almost at an hour, you guys. This is crazy. Okay, so we're down to our last 5 pieces. 2 pieces of paper, our 2 sides, our bottom, our top. So we know which ones we're doing here. And it is a rinse and repeat. I should not be surprised anymore how long these take me, but sometimes I still am. And this one, honestly, has really, for some reason, really shocked me. the amount of time it takes to do these. I don't know why this particular build has surprised me so much, but it seriously has. Top on the inside. And don't let it, and make sure my front is flat, and don't let it go crooked on you, because it'll collapse like my last one did. All right, and then our smaller paper on the top. Oh, and the front. Nope. Oh, dang it, I did that on the bottom. I mean, which it'll eventually get there when we put it in, but I wanted to put the paper on the top. That is my little chunk space missing there. Yeah, this brown is much darker than my other one. That's okay. So let's do that glue job again here. And then across the front. Come on, grip it, grip it, grip it. Okay. Take it down now. Not completely, but while we're doing this, we can put on our backing. Oh, excuse me. I have that dry spot in my throat again. And then it makes my eyes water and I can't see anything. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. Put our backing on. Make sure we're flush all around. And then we'll trim up. on this one. So our little strawberry closed one is upside down because that gives us that shelf, right? And plus that's the strawberry. So we're gonna glue this one opening down. Drop it in and then drop it, push it down. Now they're touching sides if you want it more secure, if you feel like maybe you need it glued on the sides of the cabinet, you can do that too. I think this will be fine. All right, and then our second one is opening up. It's not going all the way in, it's just going part way in. And then our string of beads are going to be hanging out of it. So I'm going to glue about half. And then I just looked at the bottom to see where my glue ended. And then push it down. Okay, and then the beads, just kind of a few of them are in, but then they're going to be like down and around on the floor. So I think I'm only going to glue 2 of them in, and I'm going to put some glue here on the corner for the, it's not wire, it's like gold thread to catch. And then just on the bottom of my first one. Okay, so it's kind of going to go, it's not all the way to the ground. So it's just, I glued it to it's about right there. I glued it to the side. Then I want that thread stuck in that glue. Okay. And then when we place it, we will, adjust how we want those bottoms, that bottom little section. All right, so now we've got to place things in our room. So yes, I've gone completely out of order. So we've already got our window seat here. We've got our 2 display cases over there. We've got our balloon arch. And then okay, so they just don't really tell you to put it in, they just show you a picture at the end. So I'm going to put in, so our table goes here. This is gonna go, our 2 tall ones. Okay, so this has to go over more, but it can't be, so up a little bit maybe. So this is right next to it. Is that, oh okay, sorry, the small one goes next to it and then the tall one is on top of it. And I'm not putting a dust cover on. If you have a dust cover, make sure nothing is past this edge, okay, because your dust cover is going to go there. I'm not doing the dust cover, so I'm thinking this kind of circles around here. Now I'm going to kind of set my major things in here because I want to see. So the balloon, I know it's not going to stand up. And then our car, and then our announcement. Not liking this, but can this set back a little bit? No. Yep, so I'm switching it up. I want this centered in according to the background. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to continue or if we're going to do another short one, because this is not making me happy. I really want to try to center this, and I don't mind if it's farther back, because, you know, no one's really gonna have to get back there. So. I'm thinking that's gonna go, and then this can go here. Looks better this way to me. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna start gluing things down. I know we're running over an hour, but I don't want to do another video. I want to finish. So this is, it's not like against the wall, but it's pretty close. And I'm centering it as best I can. There. Oh no, I just knocked one of my little beads off. I bumped it with my finger. And this way, you know, I was having, oh, you guys, I put my books in sideways. Oh geez. Oh my gosh. Seriously, Missy? It's because I'm rushing, you guys. I'm sorry. Most of that will be covered up. Oh, I gotta get a new brown. That brown is too dark. Okay, let's do this one more time. Making sure I'm doing it the right way this time. Sorry, am I on screen? Kinda, sorta, not really. Sorry, guys. Yeah, my books were on this wall, standing. Now we have our books in here correctly. Okay, and I let that one stick in about halfway out so we can see the little doggies. Now let's glue this one down. And two, keeping these ones separate, I have an extra display stand for the desserts, because remember I felt like my table was too crowded. Now I'm going to put that up against the wall. I don't particularly glue to my walls unless it's like really necessary, because obviously I make mistakes. You just saw me glue the books in sideways. Now if I had somehow, just saying, made a mistake with this, it's easier to cover up the spots that where the glue tears the floorboard than it is the wall, for me anyways. And that's just my preference. You know, feel free to glue up against the wall, however you want to keep it steady. Okay, I'm going to loop these like this. So I'm just going to put a couple of spots. I don't want like all of them glued down. I definitely want there and there, and I think like one there. Nope, that was wrong. I went too close. There we go. I'll let that dry and see if we need more or not. Okay, and then if when I pick it up they all start rattling, I'll glue some more. I didn't want to block that, but I wanted it more in the corner. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. There we go. That's how I wanted it. Glue just on the bottom of the tires. And then kind of on the elbow, on the bend part, and on the edges. Okay, so there's how everything is going now. Now we're going to put on details. So our other little gold poster is going above on this little brick wall here. So as the corner of my wallpaper was not sticking. Okay, so I know the cake is going to go on the table, and I'm thinking I did want center, but I don't think it looks good in center, especially now with the balloons. So I'm going to go back left, back right, and hope that these glue onto this material. It should. This material glued pretty good when I made pillows, so hopefully. Yeah, and that looks better with that balloon arch because it's right on the outside of the balloon arch. Okay, and then I think the display stand for cupcakes needs to go on the other side. I think it's just too big for any other spot, any other display stand to hold it. Nope, come here. Be careful you don't bonk all those balloons. And then I really wanted the strawberry shortcakes to be on this one because they're still my favorites. Oh, no, 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 no. What do you do? Okay, I think that that's enough on the table, honestly. Honestly. I think anything else is gonna make it. And if you want to, you know, one of those crowded over, you know, overflowing display tables, absolutely put them all on there. It'll look great. I just, excuse me. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so we're gonna continue with our food. We're gonna put our little chocolate cakes. I think I'm going to put them down here. So we do have a couple things that are not food, and I kind of want the food all to be kind of close together. All right, and then we have our lollipops. And I'm thinking, yeah, they should go down here for the kids, because of course the kids are gonna want the lollipops, right? So we'll put them with what is now a low display stand, because we didn't have that before. It was underneath this one and it made it super tall, even taller than that. And now I have a shorter one. Okay, so I think it's looking good. What do we have left? We don't have any more food, right? We have our little hat. We have our flower pot. We have a frame. We have two frames, two picture frames. And then we have these 4 little postcards, or cards. Oh, birthday cards, duh, Missy. And then our little perfuse bottle, or perfume bottle. I don't know what it's. They said they wrote profuse, and I think it's supposed to be perfume, but okay. So I think I'm gonna do flowers in the back corner of this round display stands. So these ones in the back with one of the picture frames. I want you to see all 3 flowers. And I think we'll do the small picture frame. So along that bottom edge and then that back triangle. There we go. Okay, so that's in that back corner. And then I think think I'm gonna go big picture frame, which is like supposed to be the birthday person, right? And then the party hat. Will that block too much? Whoops. Yeah, let's do the picture frame and no, let's do the decisions. Yeah, let's do the picture frame and the Perfuse perfume bottle over on the other round one, okay? I was hoping not to have both picture frames together, but it is what it is. Just gonna dull up some glue there. Birthday hat and the birthday cards go on the last one. I'm glad I split those up because I would have never gotten all this stuff on there because I wouldn't have had a place for the lollipops. All right, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4. Honestly, can't even tell what they are. They're so little. So I'm just going to kind of overlap them like that and do that. Oh, I tore that corner. This is going to be too dark. That's okay. Is that it? Do I have everything except the lighting? Oh my goodness. I think I do, you guys. Woo! So here is the, without lights yet, but that is the camp party, and I'm giving this to my great niece, so I'm not calling it a camp party. I'm going to call it a birthday party. I gotta say, I like everything except the card just doesn't like vibe with the whole feel of it. It kind of just is like, I don't know, I'll be honest. It's like, oh, it's a little girl's party. Oh, but we invited little boys. We better have something for them to play with too. That's what it feels like. That mom or dad did at the last minute. Oh crap, we got little boys coming late. Let's just throw a car out for them. That's what it feels like, I'll be honest. Do I have batteries? I need AAA. Oh. I know we're almost at an hour and a half, but I'm going to finish this up. Okay, so I have 2 batteries. I will restock this when I'm putting everything, when I'm unkitting and redoing blades and stuff. So for now, we have what we need. So and then there's this really weird backing. Oh, I forgot about that. So we have 2 last pieces of cardboard. This is, we need to cut it out and then cut out that little square. That little square is where our wires are going to come out, right? And then this is going to make a little pocket for this. Now, am I doing that right now? No, I'm not. Will I do that? Well, you know what? I should, in case any of you guys need, want to do it. That's what I'm doing this for. Come on, Missy. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, We're doing it. I know we're probably gonna hit 2 hours, guys, and that should have been broken up into 2 videos, but I just didn't wanna. So, sorry, not sorry. The reason I didn't want to is I thought this was going to be a very easy, very quick build. Honestly, I really, really did. By the look of everything looked very kind of, not to say simple in a bad way, but it seemed very achievable quickly. I didn't think there was that much. Just looking at the box, it didn't look like, well, I mean, I didn't know each dessert was going to take me an hour to do, like seriously. So I just kind of had that train of thought of a quicker build. You know, my last one was so much. It was what, 41 videos? And so, you know, I wanted a much smaller one. And then when this one didn't get much smaller, I was kind of like, ugh. So yeah, I'm kind of pushing it. But that's okay. I actually like the idea of this little holder. I have so many that literally just have the battery pack sitting out just behind it. Ooh, that shot all the way across. You know, just sitting behind the house on my shelf. And if, like, my dad wanted to get pictures for some people, his boss and stuff, but he wanted the lights on, so I have to turn them around and be so gentle when I'm turning them because I'm pulling wires, you know. So when I saw this, I thought, that is kind of cool. And if it's not too difficult, I'm going to switch to my blade now because I don't want to try to cut in these little spaces. If this wasn't too difficult, I might make these for all of the other ones that don't have pockets. Now some of them do. Some of them have little built-in rooms, and that's great if they fit. So, or if the doors will close, you know. So that being said, I'm just trimming up that bottom there. I'm thinking I'm going to be making a few of these. Whoop. That's okay. The good thing is you can get cardboard in different colors, so you know the darker ones I can do maybe in a, I'm sure you can get it in black, or brown or whatever, you know, do it in a darker, so even though it's on the back. Alright, and then while we have blade in hand, we're gonna cut out this little square here. Now it's this part I'm not sure about. Kind of like, okay, but I'm gonna go with it. Just, is it necessary? Is my questioning. Is it really that necessary? So handy dandy ruler. You know, I'm gonna soft fold all my lines. apart, fold them. They're not always even this way. Because that one's not even, but it's just for the flap, so I'm okay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and glue this together. That way we can get it drying. Why are you not holding? Okay, you are just, I'm done playing. Forgot what I was doing for a second. What am I reaching for? This one, these are the edges that are going to go against the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck no, I think I want to yeah, I'm going to tuck the short side in, and then we'll just glue the corners. Now, I'm obviously not going to glue it because it's going to get glued to this, but we've got to put this on and run our wires and everything first. So and really this isn't as important as the bottom was because all of these will be glued to the wall here. I did want to give them a chance, and it's not really. I'm going to leave it because I'm not going to fight anymore. Okay, so what we want to do is bring our wires together And we want this hole on the cardboard on the right side. We're going to thread all 4 wires through to the front. Now this is what I need to decide. Am I going to just nope, I'm going to put some little bit of resin. I just used the cheapest UV resin that I found at Walmart, and it was a little UV light it came with. So now I've learned I've got to get this underneath the wires too. So I'm gonna put a little bit here, just when it comes out of the hole. So I put it on the wood and then smash the wires through it. Okay, but then I want the wire straight. You're just dripping. I will wash my hands thoroughly. Please don't yell at me for sticking my hands in resin. I usually don't. That was just getting a little bit out of control. Now hit it with UV. And it says like 8 seconds, but I found it needs a little bit more than that. I do have some other UV resin that I've gotten since for actually like resin work. That's better, and I just want to finish using this stuff up before I, use other stuff, because why not? Okay, and then I'm going to, so the main reason I do this is so that down here when we're pulling on them, it doesn't rip it out. And you can actually use white glue on these wires. It just takes a little bit of time and patience. On my first build, I had like 7 lights or something, and I glued all of them down with white, with Elmer's glue. So it is doable. Just, you gotta either just clamp them down, which I didn't know to do that my first round, so I literally held all of mine with my fingers. Now this is, yeah, you gotta get that resin up underneath it also, because it'll help it hold better. So, and you don't even have to hold them down. You can just swoop them across, put them in the cardboard, and be done. That's fine, that's up to you. I just like to give mine a little bit of a security, because I hate to have them pop if I pull a little bit too hard when I'm wiring them up. Still a bit tacky. And technically they don't suggest using super glue on these. I think I mentioned earlier, or I have in most videos, super glue bonds by slightly melting the surface of whatever it's put on and then meshing the 2 surfaces together. And this is just like a plastic coating over the wire, and it can potentially, not saying it always will, because I've sparingly used super glue in a pinch before. Not in a pinch, in a mad rage of, you won't stay where I want you to. Let's be honest here. And I've used it, so, and it didn't harm anything. I used very, very tiny bit though. But yeah, you don't, and it can mess up your wires. So just be careful if you're going to use super glue, please. I would hate for you to get everything done and wired and then find out, your wires don't work because you melted them together. Because I've had a few that wires don't work at the end, and oh, it's not fun. It really, really sucks. Okay, and then we're gonna I think I'm gonna put these down and then bring them over to here. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Please stay down. Oh, you're good. Okay. So, 2 more little spots real quick. And this, of course, you know, like I said, is just one of my little peculiarities about wires. So if you don't feel the need to secure them, well, absolutely don't. Especially on this one. I don't think this one's as bad as some of the others. Some of them you're running through houses, under floors, you know, across ceilings, through 3 walls, and those may need a little bit of securing. But this one, these 2 little ones are not bad at all. Okay, this is it for the resin. Sorry, I got a little resin happy. I haven't used resin in a minute. And like I said, you don't have to do this, or you can use, you know, white glue, even wood glue, like whatever glue you have. I just find this is quicker, easier. I know how to use it, and it's pretty dang secure. So if you don't want to be a resin person, that's fine. I already was. I worked with resin before I started this type of build, before I started building miniatures. So it was natural for me to kind of go, yeah, that'll work. Especially once I learned about the super glue. Okay, so we're gonna pull all of these tight. Oh, and we pulled that too tight, and that's what I was worried about. Because now if I had not had that, it could have pulled all the way over. So we're just going to, oh, that was a lot. And this was the one I had like the least amount of resin on. Yeah, because the white stayed down. I think I just didn't have enough on the gray, because just the gray popped. So we'll just get that. Set real quick. Okay, now let's gently, maybe a little more gently than I was. Okay, and so we want to glue our cardboard along all the edges here. So it's going to cover and of course I put my wire up too high. Of course I did. I'm not undoing them then, though. They'll just deal with it. And now we have to pull our wires again because I did Yep, we're going with the super glue because I'm not fighting the whole thing. Whoop, and I just pulled it loose. Dang it. This side didn't take it. And the bottom stuck good. This side, where it touched, stuck pretty good. So it's just basically where the wires were. Yeah, okay. All right. So we want our 2 whites together and our 2 grays together. And I'm not keeping this much wires, guys. You know that, right? Let's see if we can use these little. So they want you, when you wrap them, to use the tape that they give you. Of course, I don't use that tape. I'm gonna try one of these little ones, see if, I don't know if that'll work or not. And then I have wire strippers. These are invaluable. I love these things. You got wire cutters here. Make sure you're careful getting them in the holes, otherwise in between we'll cut them. These are generally 28. This goes from 20 to 30, and I find it indispensable. It's just great. So I'm going to cut these pretty short. I've gotten nervously pretty good at cutting them short, and then work and these too, because I don't want that much wire, right? Why? So now I'm going to use, these are at 28. And it just pops them right off. I try to do about the same amount. I mean, I don't measure, but you know, just eyeball it because I like to line up my wires. And then these are they 22? I'm gonna. Nope, they are 24s. And if you go too small, it will cut them, so just be careful. Okay, so we've got, so what is it? The red wire with the white. Okay, and I'm gonna cut. A couple of these pieces, I don't need a ton of it, but so I'm going to take my 2 whites and line up that plastic. That's why I try to cut them close, and then twist these together. Now with 2, it's much easier. I've done them like 12 before, like a lot, right? Now this red doesn't have to touch every single one of these white wires, as long as, and it's a thicker wire, so I kind of, where'd you go? Oh no, that one's not. These are thin. Usually it's 1. So as long as I like to twist the red and the black around the outside, because as long as your white wires are touching, and at least one of them is touching the red, they all work. At least as far as my experience. I am not an electrician. Guys, remember that. I'm not. Okay, now the reason I like them all, that plastic to be all level, because now I'm going to put this on, but I feel like this is just asking to break, right? So I like to fold mine over back onto the plastic, and then see if 3 will fit. Please fit. Nope, you're gonna make me use a bigger one, and it's so much bigger because I don't have it in between. Please, please. Ugh. Can't fit a square peg into a round hole, Missy. Okay. So those were 1/16 heat shrink tubing, and they obviously are not big enough. This is 1/8, and they're going to be a bit too big. I know that, but I haven't found the in-between size. So now we're going to put this on here. See how loose it is? Now make sure you don't come out the end because you want that protected. Now be very careful. You can use a lighter, but I find if you've got any air movement, it's going to swish that lighter flame around, and I've cut my fingers before. This is much more, it's a low flame, it's much more sturdy. And then once I get the end so that I don't have to hold it, I'll do around the bottom. Cutting the wires shorter makes this a little more difficult, but I think it's worth it for me. Okay, so then don't grab it right away, it's gonna be hot, but then once you just kind of give it a little tug, yep, it's not coming off, we're good. My wires are not sticking out, we're good. So now we want our 2 grays. We're almost done, guys. Almost done, almost done. What are we at? I can't really see. Almost at 2 hours. I knew we were gonna hit 2. Probably. Come on, would you just twist, please? With 2, you may not even have to twist them. I just like 2. And then our black wire is gonna come up and join them. You do need to twist all of these together really good. Okay, I just had to, I should have done it before I put that shrink wrap on, honestly. I really, really should have, but I didn't think about it. Okay, that's a little bit too big. Like too big. Cut you down some. Again, just don't go, leave a little bit of room with that wire inside. Yup. Okay, be very careful. And also don't melt all your other wires. Okay, now this little thingy, see, this is going to sit in here, and it, okay, so we're going to glue, I'm thinking I'm going to have to use super glue, so I'm going to put my A-leans, just not on the corners, because I'm going to super glue the corners. Okay, and then now I want it flush with the bottom and over the top of where those, did I just, please tell me I didn't just knock off some beads. Hold on. So it's flush with the bottom, and then it's right there. So now This is the only problem with having shorter wires. I am going to, dang it. I wanted the on-off button up here. And I've cut my wires. I did this on my last one too. I cut my wires so short that I then can't get this in here. No, no, no. That's okay. We'll just, I'd rather have the little pocket than not, because I like those wires. That back is just not. We'll make it stay one way or another, won't we? That one's staying pretty good. It was just this side. Okay. So guys, we finished. I like how the light's coming through the balloons. And of course we have that little standard light bulb there. But I like it. It diffuses the brightness of the lights. Wow. What do you guys think? Oh, am I in frame? Sorry guys. I think it turned out really good. Yeah, I think overall I'm liking it, and I hope my great niece likes it. So, not as a toy, she's only 2, but maybe her mama will put it in her room and she can see it as she grows up. I did cross stitch for my nieces, some of them. My hands gave out, but I did either crocheted blankets when they were born or did cross stitches with their birth dates on them, things like that. And now for my great nieces, it looks like I'm gonna be doing miniatures. All right. Well, you guys, thanks for hanging. If you hung on in this whole video, like, you're a superstar. Thank you so much. I seriously just wanted to get it done. So yeah, we are done. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious what you guys think about that extra beads on that balloon arch. I personally love them, but I'm just curious. So, all right, well, thank you guys. I'm gonna say I think we're doing the garden next, but as always, you never know. Right? I never know. I never know until I start it. So anyways, yeah, join me on the next build. I have a few videos to upload, so I'm gonna not be building for a few days, but I'll be uploading the final videos of this build. And so I'm gonna take a little time to consider what to do, and then we'll get back into it. All right? Well, thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you enjoyed this as much as I frustratingly did, right? All right. See you on the next one. Bye.